Good evening, everybody. Whew. I'm going to be sweating a little bit too much in this. I've just been for a run. Been for my first run in absolutely ages. Just jumped out of the shower, so I apologise if I keep mopping my brow. I'm not used to the exercise. How are we all? Where are you coming in from? Just thought I'd just do a quick live video. Just waiting for a bit of tea to start cooking in the oven, so no dramas. Hello. Let us know where you're coming in from. Let us know if you're all okay. Hope you're all getting on okay out there. I'm going to give you a damn hug right now. Hopefully that's a good way. Stay safe. Yeah, hopefully everyone is okay. It's Mother's Day over here. Today's the first day where it's actually been annoying not to be able to leave the house. I mean, I'm not very sociable anyway, but Mother's Day today, and didn't go see my mum, so it's the first time, but it's got to be done. The sooner we get it out of the way, the better, isn't it? So, you need to dye your hair. My hair's not, to be fair, I'm not losing colour on my hair, I'm just losing my hair. With it everywhere, once you start getting older, guys, you'll realise that everywhere else on your body, hair continues to grow, apart from your head. I don't know what evolutionary trait along the way helped with that, but me, you, scratch match at West Lancs, money on me. I am going to be planning over the next few weeks to see kind of how often I'll be able to get out, how often I'll be able to play. It's one of the good things about golf at the moment. Government mandated that it's actually okay as long as precautions are taken. So, fortunate in that respect, all fortunate. What's left to build and bag? Just a putter. I've got a comp next week. My old Spider's going to be going back in the bag. Do you have a drill to stop hitting up in it? Up in it? Up in it. Be more specific. Up in what? What about the sim driver? Yeah, I've got a video coming out on Friday. So my driver test, my build a bag driver test, the sim just destroyed every other driver, and I wasn't too sure about my driver versus. I'll give it another go. The results are pretty surprising. That's out on Friday, I think. I play against you, Pete. I'm off 20, but I reckon I could give you a match for at least one hole. To be honest, at the moment, I probably could do. I'm not entirely sure where my game's at. This comp on Friday is going to be all about my putting, and my Quest for the Open vlog this week is going to be about putting as well. I know which putters I'm going to try for the build my bag. I think I'm just going to get fitted for a specific type of putter. I'll guess which one it is. How do you use the bounce in your wedge game? I've got an actual decent video on that, if I say so myself. If you go on to just YouTube, put in Peter Finch, wedge game. God, hair's terrible. Wow. Yeah, sorry, I've just been for a run. I'm a bit sweaty. You should do a video like Rick and check your handicap. Please, professional golfer. I think it was actually a good video. It kind of shows that. But I always think the handicap's a good gauge of how you're playing, but how you play in competition with handicap is the tough one. So like my handicap last year on my social rounds was, I think it was +1, I want to say, and in competition rounds, I think it was about the same actually. I think they were alright last year. You're gonna Laguna Scotty Cameron. Laguna Scotty, that's a classic. Keep content coming. Yeah, will do. No worries, Adam. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep the content coming as much as possible. Really, operating under the same restrictions as everyone else. I'm going to try and do a lot more live videos, so like this, so I could talk to you guys directly if you are going to be stuck inside. I was going to say something to look forward to if you like watching me on live videos, guys. Hey. What drive did you pick in the second-hand challenge? I picked, like I'm going to tell you, come on. The second-hand challenge is live. The 8th of April is the first video on my channel where we're actually picking the clubs. Stay tuned for that. It's the final £500 challenge this year, and it's a cracker. Come to Port Patrick in the southwest of Scotland. I'd love to come to Scotland at the moment, but it's not right to travel quite that far. I don't want to travel too far outside the northwest, really. Early extension, it doesn't go no matter what drills I do. Why? So, early extension. If you're not familiar with early extension, it's when the hips... I was going to get up and do a demonstration, but I think that'd be Not the best idea to do it that way. Early extension is when the hips move forward in the downswing towards the ball, you lose your posture. What I would say is this: early extension, don't just look at your impact position. So if you're early extending, the chances are that something has gone wrong earlier in the swing. More often than not, a lot of people, when they get steep on the downswing, so the shaft starts coming over, they actually move the hips forward. That allows the club head to drop in behind the hands, and they have a bit of a flipper impact. But sometimes it's down to swing plane moving down if they've shallowed the club. It comes down to posture at address sometimes. Don't just look at your impact position. Don't just look at your impact position. I'd love to come to Alabama. I'd love to come to Alabama. There's so many golf courses that I want to come play. So many places in the States that I've not been yet that I'd love to come. Alabama is definitely one of them. Keep your questions coming in, guys. I'm going to be around for a while. How are you in your irons? Yes, very good. Do you keep all your clubs? I keep the ones which I think I'm going to be able to do something else with later down the line. So I've got a whole raft of new clubs through the start of this season. A lot of the stuff I'm going to be keeping just in case more clubs come out and I can do comparisons and so on and so forth. But a lot of the times when I'm no use for them, I just give them away. So I've done loads of giveaways on here and on my Twitter and Facebook, YouTube. So stay tuned for those. Not any plan for this evening, I'm afraid. Can we have a game sometime? R23 Benjamin? Listen, I'm up for playing with anyone. Depends where I am, free time. I'll try and do a few more money matches this year. No promises. Can I have a shout out? Of course you can, Mason. Not a problem. Best tips for junior golfers. Try and get basically on the putting green. So start from the green backwards. That's a classic Tiger Woods tip. That's way of describing it. But also the power in the modern game. That is something which all juniors need to be aware of. So what I would say is start from the green backwards because, you know, no matter how old you are, you can get a putter short and you can try and get the ball in the hole. Just get you used to that. The second thing I'd say is try and play as many sports and as many power sports as possible. So hitting sports, so baseball, tennis, football to some extent, but anything with a bat and ball, if you play those sports, you get used to those sports, you're going to get used to the athletic movements that are necessary to hit the ball a long way. So I wouldn't say to like a parent who wants their kid to be really good at golf, I wouldn't say to them, just focus on golf. Focus on lots of different sports. Martial arts are a great way for a kid to understand their balance and how to actually move their weight. So, yeah, try and keep it really broad if you can. Will, don't be a spammer, man. Any other questions? Any tips for an experienced golfer who's handicapped diving from 18 but wants to get singles this season? I mean, a proper analysis of the game will definitely help where you're actually losing your stroke, so keeping stats. But also, make sure you get, hey John, make sure you get lessons. Make sure you get lessons. I've had so many players who come in and really 18 handicap. To get an 18 handicapper, it obviously depends on circumstance, but getting an 18 handicapper to drop down, that's not amazingly difficult. You just got to identify one area of the game that they're really struggling in, and you can drop 2-3. Someone's trying to log into my email. I think it's Carla downstairs. Hope so. Ever tried frisbee disc golf? No, I'm not a talented frisbeer. What's your pre-shot routine? Needs to be worked on, definitely. The things I try and get in my pre-shot routine, I just try and make sure that I've asked myself enough questions that I know what shot I'm going to hit. So a lot of the time when people are confused about what shot they're hitting, they've just not asked themselves the proper questions. Best course in the Midlands? There's quite a lot of good courses down there. If you've not played Lilleshall, so Lilleshall I was an assistant pro at, and it's kind of like it's a tree line course. It's not very long. It's not an overly difficult track in many respects, but the scoring's always tough around there because of the greens. It's really tight. It's really narrow. It's a great track to play. Summer's evening around that back nine, awesome. I think you should drive the keep progressing, so driver lessons, but do stats. What do you watch on YouTube? At the moment, actually, not a great deal. I used to watch loads and loads and loads, but the busier I've got making videos, the less videos I watch. But one of the good things about getting my new team on board actually allows me a little bit more time to see what the people are doing, to get some ideas about, you know, where YouTube's heading and different videos are heading. But hey, get down into those comments. Let me know what YouTubers you watch. If there's someone new that I've not seen, I'd love to know about them. 1 round of 59 or 10 rounds of 67s in comp. 1 round of 59. Definitely. I want to be a 59 shooter. What put us in the build? Can't tell you that. Is shaft the engine? Well, what an interesting question. The importance of a shaft is, best way to put this, I say that it's often overestimated, but it cannot be underestimated. People who say that the shaft don't matter are it's just not true. At the end of the day, that shaft, that stick, is what connects your hands to the club. Now, whether that's the bend profile, whether it's the flex, there's loads of different things that actually go into making up that shaft and making up that shaft that's right for you. And if you just get a second-hand set of clubs, I mean, if you got me an X-stiff, a stiff, even a regular shaft with my irons, I could probably make it work. If you gave me a regular shaft and a driver, I would just spin it up so much. And I know that just from experience and just from what I've been testing. So it's a case of, yes, getting yourself fit, but yeah, the shaft, of course, does matter. Anything that's going to connect your hands to the club head matters. Who is this nearly shaven man? Yeah, I've tried to grow a little bit. I've got such like a crap, like you can just see a bit of stubble there. Like my growth kind of stops there, but it's really patchy. I'd like a nicer, like a proper beard, but hey ho. Grows big that way. Which drive, in your opinion, has the best weighting system? Probably the best weighting system, one that I preferred the most, was the old M1. So with the T-Track, I thought that was great. It did everything that it needed to. I thought that was really useful. It was clear. It was concise. I think the Mizuno drivers, for example, they got a little bit complex with it, all the different settings. But Mizuno M1, TaylorMade M1, I thought that was good. Lowest ever round. Cool, crikey. My lowest one recently was a 64. That was last year. I shot 29 round 9 holes before. And that was pretty good. And I'm pretty sure that was, what was that, my old course? Was that 6 under? I think that was 6 under. 6 under around the front 9, and then I think I was 1 over back. So annoying. How to help ease isolation. Meditation, Sense and Molinari, 10 minutes. Yeah, it will work. Do you like Closed House? I do like Closed House. I've only played it the once. I played it in the British Masters Pro-Am last year, when it was a couple of years ago now. And I liked it. I didn't love it. But I didn't play that well when I was there, so I often find that that has a big outcome on whether you really like a course or not. And I didn't play that great there, so I'm not so sure. Most forgiving driver, or Blackpool or Preston? I'm a Preston boy. Come on, Gabriel. Most forgiving driver, if you're going to go for a forgiving driver, just go for a Ping. You know, they've been doing that the best for ages. The Callaway Maverick that I actually tried the other day, that's really forgiving as well. Really forgiving. Give that one a go. How is Royal Mid Surrey? Not played there in a while. Played if you type in Mega Match, Luke Donald, Chris Wood into YouTube, that's the last time I played at Royal Mid Surrey. So it was me and Rick versus Luke Donald and Chris Wood. Great match, actually. Say so myself. What do you think of the Swing Glide? I've started using it. It's brilliant. Mate, you made your mind up, so it doesn't really matter what I think. Training aids are interesting. I always like a practical training aid, so stuff that you can actually use while you're swinging. There's some which restrict you to the point that it's just not realistic. There's some that you use without swinging, and I don't really get those. I like to have a training aid that you can actually hit a ball with. Kind of seems to make sense, but there are a few that you can't. So yeah, if it works for you, but again, always try and do it with an instructor. Don't just get it off a website because it says it's going to cure whatever your ailments are. When have you released your last video? Guys, there's a video which is live on my channel right now. Don't try this at home with a baseball catcher's mitt or fielder's mitt or whatever it is, which is, I think it's a really good video. Very funny, and gives you some instruction on pitching, which is good. You and Rick indoors on a simulator playing Crossfield and Lockie, be great viewing. There's going to be, hey Friday, hi Randy, how you doing, mate? There's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to have to do to come up with content over the next few weeks. So, yeah, expect some new things coming. Expect some new things coming. Have you played? Match at Thorpe Ness. God, Thorpe Ness. Be good to self-isolate down there at the moment. How's the dog? The dog is good. He's been out for a long walk today, so he's knackered. What age did you start playing golf? Properly, kind of about 13, 14, maybe 14. I wasn't a golfer as a kid. I played football. That was my main sport. So, yeah, I kind of came to it relatively late. I played before that point, but yeah, not seriously. What country do you live in? Japan? That would be a bad shout though. Do love Japan. I am in Manchester, UK. Will Brooks overtake Rory again? If Rory carries on like he's going, no, because the thing is with Rory, he is a absolute freak of consistency. So he might not be winning as much as maybe he would like to and his fans would like to, but he's always there. Like, he's a top 5 machine, and it's so hard to be that consistent. And then once you get to a number 1 spot, if you're consistently within that top 10 every single week, it doesn't matter if you don't win for the rest of the year. No one's going to be able to overtake you because no one else is going to be as consistent. What position in football did you play? I was a commanding centre forward. Deep lying forward, I think you'd call me nowadays. United or City? No. Anything to keep the game flowing while stuck in the house. I've got an indoor series which is on my YouTube channel, which I'm re-releasing on Facebook. Go check those out. Pop 6, shout out. How many holes in one? Thanks for that. Appreciate that, George. You just maybe getting yourself a block from the channel. I'm not had one yet. Soon. How are the home workouts going? Home workouts are... Oh, excuse me. I almost threw up a bit in my mouth. They're okay. I'm more trying to go for more runs, so I've not been out for a proper run in ages. We go to the gym and doing relatively intense workouts to get the heart rate up, but an actual cardio run I've not been in ages. And I only went for half an hour tonight and I'm proper puffing. What do you think of Raw Paul Rush? Fantastic. Doggo is great. Let's have a look. Too soon, George. What have we got here? Oh, questions. We've got questions. Oh, you can ask questions. Amazing. Hey, tell you what, I'm learning stuff about this all the time. Will you beat Wentworth this year? God, I hope so. You and Rick, who wins? Well, we've got the Golf Bidder Challenge, which is coming up in... So Wednesday the 8th. So Wednesday the 8th. That's going to be basically the last 500 quid challenge match, and it's the decider. So 2-2 at the moment between me and Rick. Who is going to win? Get into those comments. Let me know what you think. What other questions have we got here? Should come to Bermuda? Yes. Favourite club in the bag? Favourite club in the bag at the moment is my G4 110, G410, whichever way you want to put it, LST Fairway Wood. It is an absolute rocket. I mean, my sim driver I'm absolutely loving. The Mizuno irons I'm almost discounting because, I mean, obviously I love them. I'd be weird if I didn't love them. The wedgie is fantastic. I mean, this Build the Bag series is lucky in the sense that everything I'm putting in, I really enjoy using. So there's not one part of my bag apart from my putter at the moment, which I don't like. So I'm lucky at the moment to have all that. Thoughts on Woburn? Woburn Golf Club is in the UK. It is a tree-lined beauty of a parkland course. Hopefully, I'll be able to get back there soon. I was meant to be going on Thursday last week to get fit for my Vokey wedges, get another fitting for the Vokey wedges, do some filming. Obviously got postponed because of everything, and we'll just try and rearrange that as soon as we can. Oh, look at these questions flying in now. How do you rate the Mizuno ST200? A very, very, very good, very underrated driver. So that was very much on the periphery of being in the Build My Bag driver video. But because I've got the Mizuno irons, I didn't want to over Mizuno it. But it's a good driver. Still not quite as powerful as maybe some of the other drivers that I've tested, but probably on feel is the best, which you'd expect. You know, it's a Mizuno club, you'd expect it to feel amazing. I would say give that Mizuno a go. First of all, if you want to try something different, if the feel of a driver really matters to you, but also if you want that little bit of extra forgiveness. I still don't think it's the powerful bomber that a lot of players, certainly tour players, need, although there are a few tour players using it now. But I think for the average golfer, yeah, it's definitely worth a shout. Is your golf course still open? So my coaching academy, so Minor Rigs Coaching Academy, Quest Golf Academy, that is currently closed because the driving range is closed. So I don't know when that's going to reopen. I've pushed all my lessons back to the end of April, just in case, but I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a little bit beyond that. Fortunately, here in the UK, golf courses at the moment are still open. They're just taking precautions to make sure there's not contact. So, you know, playing golf further apart, upturn the cups so the ball doesn't go all to the bottom of the hole, can't take the flag sticks out, don't touch rakes in the bunkers, stuff like that. So practical things which are allowing golf courses to stay open. I think if golf courses don't stay open, then there's going to be a lot of people really, really struggling with stuff to do. I've got a comp next Friday, this coming Friday, and we'll see if that goes ahead. Apparently they've got some new ways to keep people apart to make the competition safe, so we'll see. Hopefully it still goes ahead. Have you heard of Perfection Platforms? I have not. Let's have a list. TaylorMade M6 D-Type rating. I really, really like the M6, so I was using that last year. The D-Type driver... So I'm going to come at this in two ways. For a lot of people, D-Type driver, like just... If you're having to get a driver which is specifically trying to correct a shot shape, potentially take that money and spend it on lessons. But I don't know. If you really want to try a D-Type driver, it does do what it says on the tin. It keeps the ball from going right more often than not. But what I tend to find is that people who use a draw bias driver will tend to lean into their natural swing a little bit more because of the compensation. So they'll still end up kind of cutting it, but their swing actually might get a little bit worse. That's what I've seen in the past. Questions coming in. Keep them flooding in, guys. So I'm looking for a budget set of irons. What would you recommend? I'm 14 years old and a 3 handicap. So if you're a 3 handicap, good ball striker, I would potentially look at an old set of blades. So let's say the MP32. I'll tell you how much I can get those on Golf Bidder for now. But you can get so many really, really good blades. Some of the old Pings, so let's say a Ping S56, that's more of a bladed iron. Ping irons hold their quality, but they hold their value, but they also, the club makeup, because it's mostly a cast club, certainly they're older clubs, they just stay in such good condition for such a long time. So if you're looking at a second-hand set of clubs, more bladed, try and get into some old Pings. That's probably what I'd suggest. But there's loads out there, buddy. There's loads out there. To Peloton or not to Peloton? Yeah, so I mean, Rory and a lot of the tour guys, they are really, really, really getting in to their Peloton, aren't they? Listen, if I could afford to get a Peloton bike, then would I? I don't know. I think there's other stuff I'd rather spend that money on. But listen, these guys, tour pros, and they've got all the money in the world, and if they want to Peloton away with each other, absolutely fine. No issues from me. I'm not. There's like loads of people getting really like kind of angry about it, as though they shouldn't be posting about it because it's an expensive bike. Listen. They've earned the money playing golf on the course. They can spend it on whatever they want. So if they want to get bikes and play off against each other, no an issue. It is expensive, and that's probably why we wouldn't be getting it. But money's not an issue for them lads, is it? So let's see what else we got. What's your gym routine? So my gym routine was, because the gym's closed now, but to be honest, I've been working with a trainer, and he now has the responsibility of actually getting my workout prepared and done, and he sends it across to me so I know what I'm doing. And that's it. If you were to... I don't want to start giving advice on the gym routine, and because it's obviously specific for me. I don't want to give you advice because it might not be right for you, because I don't know enough about it. It's the one thing I'm trying to steer away from. I'm trying to not offer advice on things that I don't know about. I'd rather just hold my hands up and say, listen, I don't know. Go see an expert. And certainly with gym routines, I'll post what I'm doing at the gym just to keep my own motivation up or to keep your motivation up. But to be honest, I'm not going to say this is right for you, this isn't right for you, because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people who are much better and understand this a lot more than me. What is your favourite putter? Well, my putter is the last thing in the Build My Bike series to be replaced. And should I tell you what I'm going to get fitted for? No. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to get fitted for. But it's class. I've wanted one for a long, long time. And to get fit properly for it, I'm excited. Let's have a look. Answer a few more questions, guys. Favorite club in the bag. Already answered that one. By the time Tiger retires, how many major wins do you think he'll have? If I was going on odds and kind of what's happening at the moment, the likelihood of the season extending, his fitness, his health, I'm going to say 16. I'm going to say 16, and I think that's being optimistic. If he just has 15 and stops on that, then absolutely fine. I don't think he's going to get to Jack's record, but the one thing you should never, ever do with Tiger is write him off, because you never know what he's going to come back with. No one thought he was going to come back and win the Masters, so who knows what he's going to do. But I would say, yeah, if he finishes with 16, that's obviously incredible. Okay. Got some people asking to go live as well. Although that's not really coming up. Who's asking to go live? Hayden Garst. If you've got any questions, go live with a few people now. Declined. I'll tell you what, we'll keep going with the questions. We've got loads of these. Hello. It's quite a deep one. Wilson Staff Model Blades, thoughts? Planning to get. Wanting to know your thoughts on the irons versus a blade. Now, I still got my... Hang on, let me try and find them. They're in here somewhere. You keep yourself entertained over there. This is what you tuned in for, I knew it. Oh, hello, it's the 3 iron as well. Oh, right. So, let's give it a quick... Just chucking clubs into my guitar. Give it a quick polish. So, these are the ones you're thinking of getting. Look at that. Come on, focus. It's too shiny. It's too shiny to focus. Look at that. Oh, stop it. My thoughts on these. They are very, very thin, very, very bladed, and they are not, when you're looking down on that, that is not for the faint-hearted, that 3 iron. That is a very, very small looking golf club. I would say that they are as good as any current blade out there. So I'd always give them a go. I'd always give them a go if you can. I think if you're going to go for a blade, I'd probably always pick Mizuno. But if you want a club which performs really well, feels amazing, and is cheaper than a lot of the competition, then yes, go for one of these. They are very, very pretty as well. They're very pretty. Not forgiving. Not forgiving by a long shot, but if you want a pure set of blades, it's not a bad one to go. Okay, let's get a few more questions in. So, play my first round today to get a handicap. Totally fell apart. Any advice on maintaining focus? So, here's the really, really key point that you just made there. You played your first round to get a handicap. Anything that you do, I always kind of think of it as, do you remember the first time you went for a driving lesson and you started to drive around in this big, dangerous metal thing? How scared you were? I was petrified. You know, I was gripping onto the steering wheel like it was a roller coaster. But now I just get in and it's natural. It's the same as that. I mean, if you want to do well in competition, if you want a good handicap, you need to play in competitions and play with a handicap. It's as simple as that. Experience in this matter cannot be overestimated. You know, if you're only playing a comp every now and again, you're not getting yourself comp ready. You're just you know, playing golf socially, whatever, then that's fine. But if you want to do well in comps, you've got to play in comps. So don't worry. Like, don't worry if you fell apart, mate. It happens. You are not expected to go out and play well every single time. However, get yourself some practice, get yourself in more comps, and whatever handicap you come out with the other side, if it's higher than you think, great. Just enter competitions and win the first few. Excuse me. Almost coughed then. Nothing to do with me. It's this orange juice I'm drinking. Right, let's look. Let's have a few more. What's this one? I swing my driver about 113 miles an hour, but I am 15 years old and it is changing very fast. What shaft do you think I should have? When you're going through swing changes and your club speed is different, listen, try and get yourself fit if you can. That is the first thing to say, because the shaft that you need, it might have something to do with your swing speed, but it might have something to do with where you offload it in the swing. It might have to do with how much torque you're putting on it. You know, there's a lot of things which go into selecting that absolutely perfect shaft. And if you are in a, you know, if you are in a changing phase here, and you're 15 years old, obviously I don't know your situation, pal, but you know, you might be getting bigger all the time. You know, by this time next year, you might be a foot taller and be able to swing it 10 miles an hour faster. Just don't know. So it's a very difficult one to say, and I always default to the, you know, try and get yourself fit. It's a, it might feel like a little bit of a cop out, but I wouldn't want to give you advice which, you know, I don't know is going to be right for you, mate. But it's good swinging that fast at such a young age. Keep it going. Crikey, you've asked that question a lot, mate. Oh, hello. How many years do you recommend that you switch drivers? Oh man. So if you're like me, I would say every year. But if you're not like me, if you buy a driver today or from the last probably 5 years, I'd say you're okay. I don't think you need to worry. Technology in drivers, it moves along, but at the moment it's so incremental. So the difference between a M1 and a sim driver, is it actually that big? It's going to be, the sim is better in my opinion than the M1, definitely, in a couple of different ways. But as far as the cost comparison is concerned, like, you know, the M1 is still a fantastic driver. That's the way I look at it. And if you're not playing mega regularly, and you know, you don't need a new driver. You really don't. You really don't. I'd probably say, if anything, if you want to see if you can get a little bit more distance, try out a new ball, because the ball's the, you know, the real big thing here. Oh, you know, change the swing as well. Okay, I have a couple more. What mass you use at the academy? Can't remember. Do need a new one. No. Good advice to take a smaller divot, so you need to shallow out your angle of attack. Okay, let's try and answer one more. Loads coming in, guys. Really appreciate it. What's this one? I've started using the claw grip, Pete, and I am putting a lot better. Awesome. I agree, Mizzou. Mizzou, no man. Josh, I agree, mate. The thing is with the claw, I've actually got a video coming out on this, well, kind of on this, on Tuesday, about putters and how you can adapt your grip to match. So the claw grip for me, when I get my right hand and I go from that position to that position, just notice what it does to my right shoulder. So it allows my right shoulder to sit a little bit more down. As my right shoulder sits a little bit more down, I feel that I can arc the putter a little bit more back on the inside. So that really helps me. That really helps me. There's a lot of people who really don't like the claw. Again, personal preference, very individual. Thanks for that question, Josh. Appreciate that. Right. Come on, spend a little bit more time with you, lads. Close that one down. Do you recommend you getting your eyes done? Yeah, so I got my eyes zapped 3 years ago now, and it's the best thing I ever did. The best thing I ever did. Cost a lot at the time, but it's the best thing I ever did. Have you ever tested Orca clubs? No, I have not. Have I tested them before? Maybe a long time ago, but they are good from what I've heard and from when I tested them a while ago. So, yeah. Hey, trying to line, how we do? With your new studio, will be moving from where you are. Hey Nigel, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. No, so I'm still going to be coaching at the Quest Golf Academy, my new studio and office. I'm going to be doing like podcasts out there, loads of filming out there as well. But at the moment, that's obviously, you know, kind of been put on the back burner. So I wanted to get it ready for the Masters. The Masters isn't happening, so I don't know when it's going to be ready because, you know, I don't want to be exposing loads of people to a confined space. Simple as that. So, okay, what's the most hammered you've been on a course? Was it a pro-am? It was actually, yeah. So I've only ever been drunk once on a course, I think, and that was in a competition at the Nelson Trophy, which is down at St George's Hill. So it's quite a prestigious club. It's a pro-am which a lot of people want to play in, so there's loads of very wealthy people there, celebrities, some tour pros playing it as well. But you're expected to have a drink with your team, and you're expected to have a drink, and there's a drink station every like 2 holes. So like by the end of the round, I was sozzled. My back nine was a lot better than my front. Predictions on the comp this weekend. My comp, I'm just hoping to get a solid round in there, shoot on the par. I'll be happy. Preston or Ashton and Lee? Well, my dad plays Ashton, so obviously Preston. Is it worth getting lessons, and how many lessons? I always say this to my clients who come in. So if someone comes to see me and we change their swing and we improve them and they go away and work on it and their scores are getting better, they're enjoying their golf a lot more, then I like them to keep me informed. But if they don't come back for another lesson with me, that's a good sign for me. You know, as long as they're not having to go to someone else because I messed them up. If they don't come back for a lesson with me, that's great, because it shows that they've changed, they've improved. Generally, with a lot of my lessons, I won't see them more than once every couple of months. It's a little bit difficult, a little bit different in some cases, because a lot of my lessons aren't local, so they're coming from quite a long way away, driving quite a distance. So I've got a few guys who come in every couple of months and they drive 3 hours and kind of get a lesson for 3 hours. That's the way I like to use it. But as long as people keep in contact with me, it's probably why I'm a bad businessman. I don't get people rebooked in. I just let them book in with me when they're ready again. Anyway, rambling on. What's the best course in Ireland? I don't know, because I've not played enough. I love Adair Manor. I thought that was class, but I've not played any of the kind of true links like the southwest coast. So played Northern Ireland, so I played Port Rush and stuff like that, but not Ireland. Do you do online lessons with people in the US? It's something which I've been thinking about, because I can't give one-to-one lessons at the academy at the moment. So I've been thinking about potentially offering online lessons. Is that something you guys would be interested in? A lot of it depends on if you can get out to practice, though. So we'll see. Trouble in Paradise? I don't know. Is there? Are you playing a practice round this week? I'm going to try and get over there this week, yeah. Is it early this week? We've got a practice round booked in, actually. I don't know. It depends. I mean, I still need to make sure that the comp is going ahead. I think I will get more clarity on that tomorrow. TaylorMade or Callaway, whatever fits your game the best. Are all competitions off? No. So competitions are currently on with extra measures in place. So, for example, the course I played on for the Centurion Club for the Golf Bit Challenge, basically bunkers with GUR, so you didn't touch the rakes. You could leave the flag in, so you didn't touch the flag. And then the holes were tipped upside down, so the ball didn't go all the way in, so you could just pick the ball out. And then obviously just keep cleaning your hands. So that for me is sensible, and then just don't get close to your playing partners. I think that as long as the government and the experts say that that's okay, then that's fine. It's as soon as the government turns around or the experts turn around and say, actually, you know, let's not do this because, you know, we think there may be a small chance of something happening, then of course that's when they need to stop. But if the government say it's okay, then yeah, it's okay. Always listen to the experts. You know. Ever played down south? No. What time is it, guys? Crikey. God, I've been chatting here for a long time. Guys, going to get a few more questions in. What ball do you use? I use the TP5 and I'm using the Pix at the moment. I'm using the Pix. I'm going to try a few different balls this year. So I'm going to try the Bridgestone, probably one that I've not tried in a while. The Mizuno ball, I actually quite had the look of as well. So I might give that one again. Have you used the Sea Golf balls yet? Yeah, I used them
couple of years ago. I've not used one for a while. I liked them when I tested them. They were good. Okay, driving iron with 5 wood. For most people, I would say 5 wood. I love my driving iron, but for most people, I would say 5 wood. I've still got my 5 wood as well, and I'll pop it back into the bag depending on what the course layout is like. Okay, do you recommend the new SMA? Yes, it is. Great. Cool, guys, I have talked myself out. I'm still a bit sweaty. Go check out my most recent YouTube video as well. It is out there now. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Stay safe, guys. Wash your hands.